Nation of Fitin10, welcome to day 26. Scans start tomorrow, and I am super excited to see the results. Of course, we are 26 days in, which is pretty substantial, but there's still a long ways to go. And I want to remind you that as much as you may think that, doing maybe this here or doing that here doesn't make a difference, or won't really, make a change, everything adds up. Just like if you add a brick to a wall every day, soon enough you will have a great wall built. It's the same thing. Everything counts. As little as it is, everything adds up over time. Now, a brick in and of itself, or that one thing you did, may not make very much of a difference at all. But as I said, it's when you add it up day in, day out, all these things, it makes a huge difference. It makes a massive difference. Feedback. Let's get into more of your feedback. I had a question, and let's see what was that question exactly. Question is cravings, strategies to curb. Next line here. Strategies to manage feeling hungry and not thinking about it all the time. Not thinking about food all the time. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, I've raised some of these points before. Okay, so please don't just disregard what I'm saying. Hear me out, because believe me, these things all make a difference, and I wouldn't put them down if they didn't. So first you have to ask yourself, are you actually hungry? Are you hungry? Are you really hungry? Are you really hungry? Are you bored? Are you stressed? Do you feel depressed? If you go and drink a glass or two of water, now how hungry do you feel? We've got to ask ourselves these things. Okay? Now, putting that aside, what are some things that will help you to feel more full? Well, number one, eat real whole food. Why do I say this? Because generally speaking, real whole food is calorie sparse. That is, there's not very many calories per unit of volume. So the volume that goes in doesn't contain a lot of calories. This is generally speaking the case, especially with things like, pretty much all real whole foods, with the exception of maybe like oils. But even fats and oils are going to be very satiating. The only problem is they're calorie dense. Okay, so number one, real whole food. Number two, volume. Now I already touched upon this. So let's talk about this. What are foods that are very voluminous and don't have a lot of calories? Okay, now obviously I said real whole foods, but that's sort of a bit of a blanket statement. What are some foods that are really calorie sparse? Generally speaking, fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables. We all know that vegetables are obviously very low in calories. Fruits can be a little bit higher in calories, but both of these things are very high in water, and this makes them very satiating. Also, they're high in fiber. That makes them satiating as well. Well, not all fruits and vegetables, but a lot of them are. What are some other examples? How about popcorn? Yes, popcorn is fine. How about oatmeal? Maybe not oatmeal raw, but oatmeal cooked in water. Again, a lot of water in oatmeal. Popcorn in and of itself, there's just a lot of air in there. Number three, drink more water. Drink water frequently throughout the day. Try not to drink too much water before you eat, though. You don't want to drink a ton of water before you eat, because that's going to dilute digestive enzymes and digestive acids. Number four, protein. Protein is the most satiating food. Okay, so we're talking about foods that make you feel full. Protein is where it's at. Now, not all proteins are the same for satiating effect, but when we're looking at things like red meat, Greek yogurt, whole eggs, very satiating. When we're looking at things like protein powder, like having protein powder in water, or white fish, yeah, these are generally not very satiating. Although still more satiating than many other foods, not as satiating as the other proteins that I mentioned. Number 5, fiber. So fruits and vegetables. Not all fruits and vegetables are high in fiber, but they have, a lot of them have a lot of fiber. Whether we're talking about things like apples or oranges or berries. Berries are really good because they're very, very low calorie, even lower than most fruits. But things like oatmeal that I mentioned, that's high in fiber. There's also products you can buy like NutriCleanse. I used to sell NutriCleanse. I just didn't sell very much of it, so I don't carry it anymore. But that's a great fiber supplement. If you're low on fiber, NutriCleanse is a great way to go. As I mentioned, apples, avocados are very high in fiber, beans. Okay, all great foods that are satiating. Now, carbohydrates in general, especially somewhat refined carbohydrates, your pastas, your breads, white rice, those are generally not very satiating. But boiled potatoes or baked potatoes, these are known as one of the most satiating foods. So as a carbohydrate, they're a bit of an anomaly. That is, they're sort of the one carbohydrate that is extremely satiating. Potato chips, don't fall on this, by the way, okay? We're talking about boiled or baked potato. Number 7. Well, this is more of a rule, a general rule, but you already know this by now. Protein and fiber at every meal. Protein and fiber at every meal. Why? Because they're going to help to stabilize blood sugar levels. And if you have more stable sugar levels, your energy is going to feel better, and you're not going to feel like you have to go resort to eating something to get your blood sugar levels up. Number 8, adequate sleep. Yeah. I know, I gotta get more sleep. Sleep's good for you. No, adequate sleep helps to lower the hormone ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hormone, is the number 1 major hunger hormone. When you feel hungry, when you actually feel hunger, that is ghrelin. Also, adequate sleep produces more leptin, and leptin helps us to feel full. That is a hormone that helps us to feel full. So it's a double whammy. We lower ghrelin and we increase leptin. Number 9, go to bed early. Because when you're up at night and you're thinking and maybe you're a little bit bored, chances are you're not working. Maybe some of you are working. Just go to bed. You're probably wasting time, and this is going to be the time where you feel like snacking, probably more than any other time. Number 10, easier said than done, stress less. Stress less, because when you stress, your body produces a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol essentially competes for the same structural nutrients as serotonin, and serotonin is what helps us stay relaxed and happy. So when cortisol levels are high, we tend to have serotonin lower. We want to try to get our serotonin up. How do we do this? Well, we don't really know what's going on, obviously. We just sort of resort to wanting to eat those sugary or carby type foods, okay, to get the serotonin up, because we're losing serotonin due to the stress producing cortisol. So try to stress less. Stress is a state of mind, of course. I know, easier said than done. I'm a stressor. Okay, 9 minutes in, wow. All right, let's get to the message of the day. What is today's message of the day? Day 26. Don't call it a dream. Okay, I don't like it when people do this when it comes to trying to lose body fat. Please, I hope something works. Don't call it a dream, call it a plan. Don't call it a dream, call it a plan. Plan it out and then execute on it. Plan it out and execute on it. Plan it out and then execute on it. None of this That's what a lot of diets are. Just a lot of this. Everything is set out, planned. Your cardio, your weights, your food. Yes, I realize that there might be some aspects to your non-exercise activity that is not controlled, but for the most part, the major things are controlled in this. So just execute on them. Execute on your food, execute on your exercise, make it happen. And I guess we'll round it out here. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.